Dear friends, welcome to the video content on Diversity in Living Organisms Part 2, Plant Classification. In this content, we will learn Introduction, Criteria for Plant Classification, and Plant Classification. We will begin this lesson with understanding about Kingdom Plantae in detail. Kingdom Plantae. These are multicellular eukaryotics possessing cell wall made up of cellulose. These are autotrophs and use chlorophyll for photosynthesis. All plants are included in this kingdom. Criteria for plant classification. Now we will understand what is the basis and criteria considered for plant classification. Kingdom Plantae is divided into different divisions based on following criteria. Number 1. The first level of classification of the plants is based on whether plant body is well differentiated or not, having distinct components. 2. The second level of classification of plants depends on whether the differentiated plant body possesses special tissues for transportation of water and other substances. Number 3. Next level of classification is based on the seed bearing capacity of the plant as well as whether the seeds are enclosed within fruits. And number 4. Based on above criteria, plant kingdom is divided into following divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, and Angiosperms. Plant classification. German botanist August Eichler, 1883, proposed Eichler System for classification of plant kingdom further into two subkingdoms. Number 1. Cryptogamy, that is flowerless plants, lower plants, or seedless plants. These plants have hidden reproductive organs and naked embryos which are called spores. Thallophytes, Bryophytes, Pteridophytes are three divisions of plants kingdoms that are included in cryptogamy. Number 2. Phanerogamy, that is seed bearing plants. These plants bear seeds and they possess well-developed multicellular reproductive organs. Based on whether seeds are naked or enclosed, this division is further divided into two subdivisions. Number 1. Gymnosperms. Number 2. Angiosperms. Now let's look at Thallophyta. These plants do not have well-differentiated body. They may be unicellular or multicellular. Plant body is called thallus and is not differentiated into roots, stem, and leaves. Plants are autotrophs and have starch as reserve food. Their reproductive organs are unicellular and non-embryonic. That is, the zygote does not develop an embryo after fertilization. The plants in this subgroup predominantly includes algae which are aquatic, that is freshwater or marine, but some are also terrestrial. The images shown here illustrate the examples of some plants included in this subgroup. For example, Spirogyra, Ulva, Ulvothrix, and Shara. These plants are small, multicellular, and grow on land. Plant body can be a thallus, or it can be differentiated into stem and leaf like structure as present in mosses. Thallus is flat, green, and heart-shaped body. In some plants, thin root-like structure, rhizoids are present that support the thallus to anchor to the ground. Plants belonging to this group lack specialized conducting tissues for transport of water and other substances. Plants of this subgroup possess reproductive organs which are multicellular and are surrounded by a jacket of sterile cells. These images shown here illustrate the examples of some of plants included in this subgroup. For example, Riccia, Marchantia, Funaria, that is moss. Pteridophyta. Plants of this subgroup possess well-differentiated body consisting of roots, stem, and leaves. They have specialized conducting tissues for transport of water and other substances. In these plants, saprophyte, the green leafy part of the plant is the dominant phase of the plant's life cycle, whereas gamophytic stage is subsidiary stage. They have sporangia, which arise on foliage. Leaf produce spores. The images shown here illustrate the examples of some of plants included in this subgroup. For example, Nephrolepis, Marsilia, and Adiantum. Gymnosperms. Plants of this group bear naked seeds. Gymnosperms. Plants of this group bear naked seeds which are primitive in nature. These plants are usually perennial, green and woody, and they possess roots, stem and leaves. The sporophyte stage is predominant stage and two types of spores are produced. Microsporangia produce smaller microspores, whereas larger megaspores are born on megasporophyllus. This megasporophyllus contain naked ovule and the female gametophyte is present within ovule. Pollination takes place with wind. The images shown here illustrate the examples of some plants included in this subgroup. For example, Cycas, Pinus, that is pine, and Deodar. Angiosperms. These plants are called flowering plants. The plant body is well differentiated into roots, stem, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. Seeds develop inside an organ which gets modified to become fruit. Plants possess well differentiated conducting tissues, vesiclet, xylem, and phloem for transportation of water and other substances. Flowers can be unisexual or bisexual. After fertilization, ovules are converted into seed and ovary gets modified into fruit. Seeds have cotyledons or seed leaves. Angiosperms is further divided into two groups on the basis of number of cotyledons present in the seeds. A. Monocotyledons. These plants possess seeds having one cotyledon, leaves having parallel venation, flowers are trimerous. Example, maize. And B. Dicotyledons. These plants possess seeds having two cotyledons, leaves have reticulated venation, stem is normally branched and have tap roots, flowers are tetramerous or pentamerous. For example, sunflower. Plant classification. This given schematic illustration explains plant classification in brief. Test yourself. These are few questions for you. Please revise the concept for solving them on your own. Thank you. This content was developed under Akash School project. This project is funded by NME, ICT and MHRD, Government of India. If you wish to contact us, please mail us at the given email ID. Thanking you for watching this content.